Okay, guys, welcome back to the channel. What are we going to talk about today? Road trip? Actually, last week I was in Vegas. It'd probably be good if I had video of that, but you know what happens in Vegas, stays in Vegas, no video. Okay? We're going to talk about what I did this week, which is take a road trip a little further north of Dallas, about 2 hours north, to GR Research. I don't know if you're familiar with them. They are a longstanding speaker maker, mainly does kits that you can buy and build the speaker yourself, which is a really unique way and kind of the last bastion of me being in the hobby 20 plus, well, 30 plus years now, 35, I think. Anyway, don't want to date myself. Um, this was the last bastion, build my own speakers. And doing my research, I was very impressed with GR Research. So I had ordered them without even demoing the speakers, but and they're on order because there was a delay in getting the drivers, so I don't even have them here yet to start assembling. But in the interim, I was going up to Dallas anyway, so I just took a little 2 hour jaunt to see Danny Richie, who's the owner of GR Research, and kind of listen to his setup, which is these speakers that I bought are the GR Research NXtremes. They're about 7 foot tall. They're point source, but it's an array of drivers in an open baffle configuration and a slightly flared wings on it. Unique. Very efficient speakers, which is amazing. You look at all these drivers, you tend to think that it's going to take a ton of power, but as you get understanding in the hobby, understand electrical characteristics, impedances, crossovers, that has much more to do with the needs for amplification and what demands are going to be placed on how to drive the speaker and how efficient it is, more so than just numbers of drivers. So don't let the looks fool you. He was driving it with 9 watts tube amp, and it was a kit tube amp that he modified it, but still pretty impressive SPLs we were able to reach with those 9 watts. And so backing up just a bit, the whole reason I wanted to get these speakers, not only from the standpoint of it's my last bastion to build my own speakers, but I'm looking for something that's cost no object performance level as well. I'm not just putting this together to downgrade in performance. And so I was very interested to see how these stood up to other things that I've heard. And it just from my videos alone, you've seen I've recently gone to auditions with YG, Rockport, MBL. I've gone to shows for 20 plus years. I've heard them all. Dynaudio's, Wilson's, Magicos, you name it, I've heard it. And, there's still a few that stand out in my memory of best of the best. And I have to say the demo I did at Danny's will probably stand out as well for a long time, because there's a lot of great things he's got going on with these speakers. And number one, his room is really nice. It's not super heavily treated, but he does a smart job of doing it in the right way, such that I didn't sense, like I always sense when I go to either dealers or people's homes or the shows, you can always kind of tell, and it takes experience for this, lots of shows and understanding when the room is impacting the performance and when it's the speaker itself and whatever flaws it is. And usually it's in the bass area that you can, over the years, you'll start understanding what a resonant mode is and that it's the gain of the room that's causing that problem. Or maybe a sound staging issue is due to reflections or poor treatments and whatnot. It's not so much the speaker itself. You'll get that experience. There's no shortcut to it. You just have to get that intuition over time. And one thing I immediately noticed in his room is that the room was not detracting or overly accentuating anything in the ways that I'm used to, inferior rooms doing. So kudos to him on just setting up his room well. And he's got very high ceilings. So he did have a little bit of an echo, and I think he even admitted he probably should do some ceiling treatments, but I didn't find it offensive in any way. It was noticeable, but not a problematic thing. So the speakers were really allowed to showcase themselves. Now he was using them with an open baffle, 2 open baffle subs, really 3 drivers, big subs. that were crossed over though very low at 45 hertz. So for most music we were playing, they weren't doing a whole lot. But then we did play some music where that would trigger. And another kudos I would give him is that very often almost all the time when I hear somebody's got some subs, the roll off and transition crossover to the subs is abomination. It's overlapping, it's got muddiness, and then all the bass is kind of heavy to the bottom third of the room. And unless somebody uses DSP or really good measurement techniques and very good fine tuning, it's very hard to mate subs to, your floor standing speakers. And he did a really admirable job with those. They weren't really localizable when they played the bass notes and we were doing heavy bass material. Not a whole lot of the heaviness down low. Now, when we cranked some volume, you could tell he was having a 9-watt tube amp, both positive and negative, largely positive. But yeah, and then he does have his preamp roll off a little bit to his mains for the fact that he's using, but he's not using any DSP to help it out. So that was a very impressive roll off, and how he's got it set up such that it really, stood out to me as a great job. The speakers themselves, we didn't do any measurements from the listening position, but it was the point that I knew that in-room measurements there, I don't even need to take them. That was a pretty flat response all the way through, very balanced, not the prominent areas that I'm used to hearing with either a room or speakers not being very coherent. Very coherent speaker, voices were great, the dynamics were great, even with 9 watts. Really, I'm excited to get them in my room. And why I'm excited is a few things. On their own, even without me doing anything with them, they are competitors for cost no object speakers that I've heard. And the other thing I'm really excited about is that I'm using DSP now with Dirac, and it's a phenomenal advantage if you know how to use it right. I mean, I've never found a speaker I can't improve with Dirac and helping it mate to a room. So that's my new benchmark, but I'm using Dirac so much with these speakers just to fix their inherent flaws. There's a lot of issues the way I'm using them, and in my room, I've got to fix a lot of flaws in them with the DSP alone. With these new GR Research, when I get them in here, I will be able to just subtly use Dirac for the impulse response corrections at the listening position and just help it mate the room a little bit better. It may not need it at all. That's the thing, is that at its core, the speaker is well designed and is going to be much better bones than what I've got now, such that I can use DSP to just really help it mate to the room for any issues I have versus having to fix issues in the speaker itself. So those are the two reasons I'm doing this. And so I'll do videos when I get the speaker in and start putting it together. And I'll try not to edit out all my bloopers. I'll let you see all the good and bad that I do with it. I'm not a woodworker. These hands are white collar hands. So we'll see how it goes. But stay tuned for more, and I'll put up some videos or some pictures. I went out there just strictly to listen. I didn't want to bother him with videos and didn't want to take a bunch of even pictures, but I'll throw up some pictures at the end of this video unless I decide to edit some in earlier. So stay tuned for more, and also be a subscriber, because I've got a really good interview with Steve McCormick, over an hour Zoom call. You're definitely going to want to pay attention to that video when it comes out really soon. So we'll see you.